Want to get your nails done but don't want to spend money at the salon? I got you.
If I can do it, you can do it. I am not a professional, but I save at least $100 a month doing my own nails. And you can too. Hi, I'm Stephanie with the Homesteffer. I share what it's like to do pet boarding at home along with other things that I do here at home. Today is nail day. I've had these nails on for 3 weeks. It's raining out and I have no dog guests. So it's a perfect day to get this done. Now, you probably have some of these supplies already at home, but even if you don't, it's probably like 1 month or less of getting your nails done at the salon to be able to buy this stuff, including getting some colors that you want. So for supplies that you need, um, I use 3 towels. One is for when I'm doing all the filing, so that it's collecting the dust. The second one is when I'm done with the filing, I will lay it on top, and that's where I'll do my polishing so that the dust is not getting into the polish. And the third is for when I use alcohol to like get the sticky stuff off. I spray it on here. Okay, you'll also need, for how I do it, um, you need an electric drill, a regular hand file. Like this is for acrylic nails. The like regular for your natural nails isn't really going to cut it. It's better to have something for acrylic nails because that's basically what these end up being. A nail buffer, a cuticle pusher if you want to do your cuticles. That's an optional step, and that's what this bowl would be for. Um, to soak your hand in warm water to get them soft and push back, and then use the cuticle cutters. Now, just a word of caution, you need to make sure that your nails are not lifted at all. Otherwise, water will get in, and then you can be dealing with a fungus. So, this is an optional step. I like to do it because I like to clean up my dry skin. Um, but you don't have to do that. I use gel polishes, so I need a UV light. I have top coat, base coat in gel. I have gel colors to choose from. I have a bonder, kind of like a nail prep for before I put everything on. A builder gel. This is what is going to give you the strength in the nails. And then I also have a spray bottle of alcohol. I will put links for what I use in the description. Again, there's other products, there's other ways to do it. I'm just sharing how I do it. And I've found that they last 3 weeks. I could technically keep going. It's just that they start to look like kind of gross after, when they start growing out. So I tend to do it at the 3 week mark. So step one will be using the electric drill to get all of the color off. I'm not going to take off everything. I just take off the color and any, shiny bits and you're basically getting the polish off. So I will still have like a lot of strength here because I've built it up already a lot with this. So I'm not taking it down to my bare nail. Now there's different sandpaper tips that you can use. So I'm using a coarse one to try to get this off, faster. This will take you some practice to feel comfortable enough, especially around your cuticles. because if you do hit your cuticles, it's going to hurt. So this will just take some practice. And when you have the electric drill, you can change the speed. So you can, feel more comfortable with it at a slower speed. Obviously, it'll take longer. And also with the drill, you can use it to like shorten your nails a little bit faster than just using the hand file. So if you want to take off some length, using the nail drill is helpful. So as I'm filing off the color, I look for areas that are possibly lifting. Maybe, you'll see a little bit of dirt or something there. And so I will file those areas a little bit more. And then I'll just build it up, when I get there with the builder gel. And at this stage, I try to make it, as level as possible across the nail. I also take down some length and turn up the speed and take down some length so I'm not having to do the hand filing as much because that will take a long time. I had these nails on for 3 weeks, so they grew out quite a bit. So let's talk about if you are not already starting with nails on like I am. You obviously wouldn't be drilling off the color. If you do have nail polish, obviously take that off. Everything else after I do the drilling still applies. You can put all of this right onto your real nail. If you want your real nails to be longer than what they are before you go into the rest of the process, then you would need to put on some fake tips and get some nail glue and glue them on. I don't need them, so I can't really show that at this point, but if I ever break a nail, this is what I do. I glue it onto the tip, cut it to size that I want, and then everything else is the same. So I am continuing to get my nails down to the length I want. Roughly, it doesn't have to be exact. I will finalize it with the hand file, but right now it's pretty long. So I'm trying to just get a good chunk off before I fine tune it. And I'm pretty rough on my hands. I mean, I, deal with dogs every day. I deal with chores around the house, dishes, gardening. I use them for scraping stuff and, like as a tool. So I'm really rough on my hands and they last 3 weeks plus, however long you can handle them looking skanky. All right, so as you are doing your shaping, you want to make sure that not only are the nails on the hands the same length and shape as each other, but both hands looking pretty close. So one way is to look at your hands like this. You can kind of see a little bit better, like the actual length from your fingertip. And there'll be a point later on where you can do some more filing if you need to. All right. That looks pretty good for right now. So we are going to buff this a bit on the coarser side. I'm going to move this towel with the dust. So I have a clean one. I'm going to use this gelish pH bond. This does not need to be cured in the UV light. I'm going to do a gel base coat. You could use any base coat that you want, as long as it's gel. Because I want to seal up. Not only will it help with the builder gel sticking better, but I want to seal up my nail before I put it into the water to work on my cuticles. Just as an extra precaution for water to not get underneath my nails. After the base coat, you need to cure it under the light for 60 seconds. So I'm going to get the sticky stuff off of my nails after they cured under the light. It gets a little bit sticky. They're dry, but they have a sticky residue. So get some alcohol. Okay. And then I will soak one hand at a time in the warm water to get my cuticles soft. So after soaking my hand for a few minutes in the warm water, I will take the cuticle pusher and push back. And then I'll trim up any loose skin that shows up after pushing them. This will take practice, especially when you do your non-dominant hand. Right, I'm gonna go get warm water again because this is cold and do the other hand. So I finished with my cuticles. Again, I don't like doing the base coat before the cuticles typically, but I just wanted to make sure that I prevented water getting under my nails as much as possible because I did have a few areas of lifting. I don't always have that, so it was just an extra precaution, but it does make it harder because then it's like the cuticle skin, it kind of like gets stuck into the polish. When you get a drill set, it comes with different drill bits, and I'm going to take one of the fine metal ones and just go around my cuticles a little bit, where the edge of the base coat is, to get rid of some of the buildup. I actually have this problem with when I do all of the process, so I often will do a quick run around my cuticles just to help reduce the buildup because it tends to puddle there. And also it's lunchtime, so it's a good time to take a break. Not only am I hungry, but it'll give my nails time if there was any water that got underneath. It'll give it a little bit of time to hopefully dry out. I know there's other products that you could get for sealing, your nails. It's just I try to use what I have. And I'm gonna go clean up any skin that got loose from doing that. All right, so now it's time to go in with the builder gel. Um, and this will take a few coats, especially if you're just starting with your natural nail. It's gonna take several coats to get the strength you may be looking for. And the trick is to do pretty thin layers, especially around the cuticle because it will build up there. And this does need to be cured with the UV light. This is gel. So continue doing as many coats of this gel builder as you want for the strength that you want. I typically do like 3 coats. But if you were starting from your natural nail, you might need more than that to get this strength. You will need more than that to get this strength. And as I do, like my second and third coats, I stay a little farther away from my cuticle for those coats because I don't want it to like puddle and build up there too much. So that you need to cure it after each coat, not just at the end. So after I do my 3 coats of the builder gel, I go and I kind of push on each nail to see if there's any that feel like they need another layer. Like there's a couple that feel a little bit more bendy. So I'll put an extra coat on those. I don't need to do all of them, just the ones that feel a little weaker. So after I do all the coats that I want to do, I will take the fine sandpaper uh, drill bit and touch up around my cuticles. I will do any finishing touches like on the shape or the length. And then I will go back and do a very, 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 very thin coat of this to just kind of seal it up. And you want to feel like, are there any bumps or weird spots, either that you need to file or add more builder gel to. I didn't switch out my towel. I should be using my filing towel. Domino. So I'm going to buff wherever I just filed, just to make sure that there's no rough edges. All right, so I buffed the rough edges, and I'm going to do one more final thin coat of the builder gel. So I ended up doing 3 coats of the gel, then did a little bit of filing and buffing, and now I'm doing a 4th thin coat. And then I will be done with the builder gel and we'll move on to the color. You could technically just stop here if you wanted to just have clear nails, but I will be painting mine a color. Right. Now it's time to do the color. Usually it takes 2 to 3 coats. You do thin coats just like the builder gel. Make sure to get the edges of your nail with the color. And again, don't get too close to your cuticle. And again, you do the light between each coat, not at the end. You have to do each coat. So I did 3 coats of this color. And now I will do a top coat and then wipe it with alcohol after it cures, and then I am done.